Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ferry Talk. My name is Nick. How are you guys doing today? I am doing exceptionally well, I guess I would say. The main reason is I have a few projects that I've been working on that are kind of behind me, and they were overwhelming, I guess. And so you're just kind of you're trekking through them, and all of a sudden you get them done. They're kind of past you, and it just seems to make you smile. So this is a rather impromptu fairy talk for me today because I was working on the plans for the table saw crosscut / miter sled, and today being already Wednesday, the day I post this, I'll be posting this, just in a couple minutes. Well, as soon as all the computer does its stuff, but I'll get to that. But yeah, like I mentioned, I had that sled project, and I just want to thank you guys. That thing really went over well with you guys. A lot of great responses, great emails on it, lots of thumbs up, lots of sharing. If you haven't seen that video yet, definitely check it out. It's a combination crosscut sled and miter sled all in one. It's a little bit on the bulkier, well, I wouldn't say bulky, it's a little bit on the larger side for capacity reasons, but made it out of Baltic birch, had a lot of aluminum extrusions in it, and some really neat functions and features. And you guys, judging from the response, you guys absolutely loved it. And I was getting tons and tons, or at least I consider tons and tons of people asking about when the plans were going to be done. And I am happy to announce they are done. I went through in painstakingly, these things just, diagrams and cut layouts, and it really took me a long time to do them. It's 23 pages, but I think they are definitely the best plans I've put out to date, but definitely worth it. I have them for sale on my website. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to pick those up. I've already had people email me saying they've purchased all the other materials, and they're driving to get the Baltic birch. And I had one guy say that it was like 60 minutes or 60 miles, something like that, for him to go get Baltic birch. And he's like, but I'm going to do it because I want to build this thing. Obviously, you don't have to build it out of Baltic birch, but I am kind of biased towards Baltic. And a lot of fixtures that, jigs and stuff that I'm going to be using a lot. But anyways, once again, thank you guys. The response on that was just phenomenal. So, and in the video, that was one of the reasons I said that was one of the projects that I had problems mostly with the video editing. And but I had a lot of people say that they liked the animations that I had put in the video and stuff like that, and I'm glad to hear that because I almost left that out. I explained the 5-cut method, and a lot of people seemed to be pretty receptive as far as how I conveyed that. And I got a couple suggestions to put just the 5-cut method, the excerpt from that video, as a standalone video, so that way it's a little bit more easily searchable on YouTube. And I suppose as soon as I get time to trim that thing down and then re-upload and all that stuff, I probably will do that. So if that ends up in your news feed and you're like, I thought I've seen part of this before, that's exactly what it would be. But yeah, the animations in there, I was toying around with. I'm not necessarily 100% new to the animations part of the editing software, but definitely not much experience with it. And the computer editing. Let me just tell you guys this. I started making a couple YouTube videos for woodworking, and they were pretty well received, so I figured, I'd make some more. It kind of snowballed on me and just kind of got away from me. Anyways, I have 2 different external hard drives, both 3 terabytes apiece. And I thought, that would be plenty. And I guess I just hadn't been monitoring that. Halfway through that crosscut sled video, both those 3 terabytes were filled up. And for those of you that don't know, a 3 terabyte it's an amazing amount of storage, but not really when you're talking video. But they're like anywhere from $100 to $140, $150 for one 3 terabyte. So I went through and I tried to delete as much as I could, but I'm kind of a pack rat, and I don't want to delete a lot of the final edited video and stuff like that in case I ever want to pull clips and scenes from it, or if I ever want to do a compilation someday. Long story short, and then a day or two later, one of my hard drives was acting up considerably, and I guess I just didn't put two and two together. And my 5-year-old comes up to me and goes, "Dad, this little black box here, we knocked that on the ground." And that is the one drive. And I know for all you guys that know computers, you're probably going to be just shaking your heads right now. For all you computer guys, that is the one drive I have all of my YouTube, everything I've ever done online on that one 3 terabyte. No backups, no nothing. I know you're supposed to back that stuff up, but I will be seeing what I can do to back it up as soon as I can, as soon as possible, within the next 4 or 5 days, because after they told me they dropped it, it was kind of making a silly noise, and then I'm like, I bet you any money this thing is gonna crap out on me sooner or later, and all of a sudden I'm just gonna lose everything, like my logos and all that stuff. And but yeah, so that video, like I said, I had an overwhelming response, but I just kept responding in the comments, be like, "Oh, I can't wait to tell you guys what I went through on this whole thing," and it was nothing but plagued with problems. And then there's what they call, and now I'm drawing up, keyframing in the editing to make animations do certain things. I had a keyframed 100% perfect, 100% perfect. And when it went to render out, the shapes just wanted to move in their own magical directions. And I could not figure that out. I'm not a huge computer guy, and I'm actually thoroughly surprised that my fist did not go through the computer monitor, to be quite honest with you guys. Because the project itself, if you don't tape it, make a video, or edit, the project itself does not take 3 weeks, but that's how long it took me to get the video out. Enough about the sled. It is summertime, and I had my annual boys or guys weekend, whatever you want to call it. 5, 6 of my buddies. We go camping once a year, sometimes twice a year, but for sure once a year. And this year we went to a really, really nice campground at I forget what national forest it is, but there was just acres and acres and acres of untouched forest, and it's just gorgeous. They had a lake there that they were actually calling a pond, but it's definitely big enough to be a lake, and a river that channels at the end of the lake, and then there was a dam, and it's just kind of cool to sit and see some of this stuff and to hear the rushing water, and people would hop on tubes and basically just kind of float down the river a couple miles. But definitely a ton of fun. So I got to do that, and that eats up time. That's basically my shop time. And another thing, while we were out and about up north, we were out and about. I said, well, let's go explore. Let's go check out the sites, whatever there is to be seen. We came across this old ski hill that 2 of my friends who grew up in the area, like 20, 25 years ago, they would go skiing there every winter. It's abandoned now, and they just kind of turned it into like a little bit of a motocross track. But I thought that was neat. I'm a very nostalgic guy. I'm a very sentimental guy. And just to hear some of the stories and have a good weekend with my buddies, that was nice, fun, relaxing. If I didn't respond to your comment on this table saw sled video, it's because I was on the road and then gone that whole weekend once the video was out. So I did my best to get back to people with the limited internet I had. Also, when we were out exploring, we were driving back to the campsite, and I just saw this kind of small town. I mean, we're talking a small town, maybe a town of maybe 600 or so. I don't know, maybe I'm way off on the population. But anyways, it looked like everybody that lived in that town was at this like central area, and I said, let's stop in and see what this is. And from the side of the road, I kind of saw a guy chainsaw carving. But anyways, we get there, and there weren't any like large banners or anything like that explaining what this little festival, whatever it was. But it turned out to be Weinerfest, as in hot dogs. And yeah, seeing chainsaw carving at Weinerfest. Never thought I would say that one, but yeah, no, that was fun. A buddy of mine bought a Wiener hat. There was a guy dressed up as a Wiener, and people dressed up as mustard and ketchup. And it just blew my mind. While we were out and about, I thought that was fun. We stopped there, and here's a picture of the guy that was doing the chainsaw carving. And this is kind of a logging town, logging community, and his whole family is a bunch of loggers. And so when they get some of these offcuts they can't use or whatever, he turns them into benches, where he makes these long benches, and the ends of the benches are chainsaw carved bears. And I thought that was really neat. I've seen chainsaw carving before, and I've seen bears carved out of it, but I've never seen anyone necessarily put it into a bench like that, and I thought that was cool. So you never know what you're going to see at Weinerfest. I'm going to have to stop with the Weinerfest already. I found it just completely bizarre. But anyways, another thing, I wanted to give a shout out to Andy. If you guys remember back a couple videos ago, I did that woodworking inspired or woodworking style barbecue tray, and Andy had wrote that I didn't have a proper bottle opener, and he had sent me this along with a handwritten note, which I appreciate. That's really cool. But this bottle opener, and I was just blown away. And Andy, if you're watching, I hope you are. Can you tell me do you start out with like a generic, the metal part? Is it just a generic bottle opener? But the wood on here has some really nice figure. It's almost kind of a quilted figure, and thanks again. You didn't have to do that. I mean, that was really nice, and yeah, and I've been getting a lot of stickers from people, a lot of emails, a lot of notes and stuff. I always appreciate that. If there's something you guys ever want to say to me that isn't appropriate for the comment section, you can go to my website, and then there's Contact Us, and that'll go right to my email, and you can tell me whatever's on your mind, or if you have any questions or comments or anything like that. And my address is on there too. I'm not saying you guys have to send me anything, but it's always nice to receive a couple things. I got a couple more written notes and stuff from viewers, and I thought that was really cool. And that really does brighten my day. And yeah, maybe I'll be building a spot to put all this stuff, because I need me a sticker board, with the whole stickers and stickers. I haven't put up any of them yet. I've been so behind on all of that stuff. But anyways, that's pretty much all I have for you guys for this week. It's been a real busy week. I'm going to actually, as soon as this is uploading, I'm going to start my project. I have a fun project lined up for hopefully Friday. It does not take a whole lot of time to build, and it's a fun project, and I get to utilize my new miter saw sled. So hopefully I get that out by Friday. If not, I will see you guys when I see you next. You guys take care.